Hey guys, before we start this particular episode of The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, I just want to show you this right about now for the sake of the forms of how the fact that, yes, today's the day, folks, which means that today is the 16th of February today, in this case in 2022 today, so you know what that means? Yes, the Maxi Toys YouTube channel is now officially 11 years old. Yes, I can't even believe it's been 11 years old since 2011. So because of that though, still going strong even to this day, and especially noticeable how the fact that, well, the actual channel itself is going pretty alright. Like, thanks to you subscribers out there, did manage to able to support this channel for me, and as a result though, we actually did manage to play a lot of games recently, and even some new Let's Plays, and even some redo Let's Plays for the sake of time. So as a result though, yeah, that's as far as I can honestly try to say, because originally we were expecting to be able to do this particular celebration video for the sake of the Maxi Toys 11th anniversary because of the forms of the Nintendo Direct presentation just managed able to actually become a case. But ultimately speaking though, is the fact that you guys even remember that obviously the Nintendo Direct obviously already did happen for the sake of about a week ago. So because of that though, yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Well, I'm sure that Pac-Man has already mentioned about this ever since in the majority of the Let's Play of, well, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. So, anywho, I guess there's not much else I can say in terms of the forms of our 11th anniversary celebration for the sake of the forms of the Maxi Toys videos or the actual channel so far. So with that being said though, let's just get into the actual video. Alright, so, oh my god, the ghost is trying to able to go straight towards me. But either way though, at least I can wish if I was trying to able to eat the ghost, if I was trying to get the power pellet, but not a chance. But oh well. Hey, what's up ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Pac-Man here, and once again I am back for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past for the Super Nintendo / Super Famicom for those of you who lived in Japan, and for the Game Boy Advance as well. So last time we managed able to win through the third dungeon in the Dark World, which appears to be the Skull Woods, and also we did manage able to beat the likes out of the forms of Mothula. So as a result though, yeah, that boss fight can be kind of difficult sometimes, but as a result though, we did manage to deal with her at the very end. So yeah, today for this video, is the fact that we're going to be moving on to the next dungeon in the game, which appears to be known as Gargoyle's Domain. Because as far as I'm aware, that's obviously that we've already did manage to able to bash the forms of that particular fork thingy right there from the likes of the forms of the Gargoyle statue from the likes of the Dark World. So because of that though, yeah, here we are onto the forms of Gargoyle's Domain. So yeah, I guess there's not much else to say about this for the most part. So yeah, a few things I want to explain, and I'm sure that you probably already noticed for about a few minutes ago that obviously today's date is of course the 16th of February today, in this case in 2022 today, and since then Maxi has already managed able to give you guys a special message from the sake of the forms of the beginning portion of this video. That is the fact that yes, recently the Maxi Toys has officially become 11 years old recently this year. So, because again, I was expecting if we were able to actually do something for the sake of the forms of this particular celebration, likely something different or what have you, but ultimately though, sadly though, it's been cancelled due to the forms of quite a number of things. For one thing, obviously we need to take care of the forms of other things we need to able to be working on with. And second of all is the fact that you probably already know whatever I already mentioned about this ever since and during the course of let's just say during the course of the past few parts of this game in particular, that basically though, that we've already had a Nintendo Direct since yesterday. So because of that though, I don't think there's any point we can able to actually mention about that for a bit of a long while, because as far as I'm aware that we've already mentioned about that kind of stuff a lot. So apart from the fact that I will classify for certain details coming up for the sake of the forms of upcoming titles for the first half of 2022, which that might be seems the case, because either way though, that I'll briefly mention more about it until whenever we're able to see some more infos on certain things that's been happening. So, anywho. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and get started for the sake of the forms of Gargoyle's domain. So, because of that, though, I was expecting if this will actually be, calls it, the Thieves' Hideout and stuff like that. But ultimately, though, for whatever I've seen the forms of the Zelda Wiki, ultimately, like I said before, that this particular dungeon is called Gargoyle's Domain. So because of that, though, I just feel like trying to mentioning about that. So anyways, let's go and grab the big key from earlier on. So I'm quite surprised that we actually did manage to able to I can't speak today for this point, guys. I do apologize for that. So we did manage to able to briefly went through this for the sake of the forms of not only obtaining the forms of the most important items throughout, specifically the big key, the map, and the compass, and I think we should be all set in all things considered, while trying to able to navigate for this particular labyrinthy segment right here. So we can able to actually just go in here and trying to take care of the forms of those stealthos right here before you're able to move on. So yeah, I think for the most part that Gargoyle's Domain actually wasn't all that hard, at least as far as I'm usually concerned with that stuff. And right off the bat, we stumbled across a small key, and we immediately right onto the dead end, but as you probably already know, that we ended up on the boss room. But there's no boss encounter around here, so because of that, we need to backtrack for a bit, and because of that, though, we need to navigate through specific portions throughout. So because of that, though, yeah, we just need to able to actually backtrack for a bit. So because of that, yeah. And as far as what Maxi has already mentioned about, despite the fact he hasn't mentioned about it too much from the likes at the very beginning of that particular important message, that is the fact that, well, recently we've managed able to actually just get ourselves even more subscribers. Like, at this point in time, I think anyway, 471 subscribers so far. Almost there to the point where we are almost at the forms of the 500 subscriber mark. So as a result, though, we're actually doing really darn well. At least for the most part anyway. So because of that, though, well, usually most of the time in the past, mainly due to the forms of the beginning portion of 2022 sometimes, that I swear to Christ, that I've always seemed able to lose subscribers sometimes, like out of nowhere. Or maybe it's just the fact that, well, I just have no idea why they do that. But it knows what it is. So anyways, let's go ahead and send out the magic powder, just in case if there are any skull-like enemies that we're able to cast a spell on them. And basically we can now able to actually heal that particular thing right there, so that way we can able to actually protect ourselves for the sake of time. So yeah, that should be pretty useful, and especially noticeable every now and then, unlike the ones and how it does it on the third dungeon in the Dark World. Thankfully, we don't need to worry about just draining the magic meter too many times. Although, there's one in particular dungeon coming up that it will classify for able to actually use a lot of usage on magic meter, which we'll point it out whenever we're able to get into that. Maybe at some point, almost towards the very end of this particular month coming up, or something like that. So, anyway, let's just go and send out another magic powder so we can able to actually get rid of that spinning skull like enemies, so that way we'll turn them into fairies. So yeah, pretty easy when you manage to able to try to aim it at the right moment. So just in case you can able to, oh my god, okay, I'm almost gonna get hit by those little spike objects, but thankfully I did somehow manage to dodge the rest of it though, so I guess that's perfectly fine for my understandable moments is worth noting for. But and also, as far as I've already said this before, ever since in Warrior Land 4 Let's Play so far, that like I said so many times, that I was originally trying to able to plan things out for the 11th anniversary of the Maxi Toys YouTube channel, but of course that since that's usually relatively speaking, that it's been about a year ago since in a very special intro for the sake of the forms of the 10th anniversary for the sake of the forms of our channels. So because of that though, man, time flies. Despite the fact that, unfortunately though, that one thing I will have to admit though right away is the fact that the only downside I can think of when it comes to creating that particular channel of ours, specifically the Maxi Toys channel as for this point, is the fact that it first existed during exactly the same year, as in that, well, I'm afraid to say, is my most overrated Tom and Jerry films ever, which appears to be Tom and Jerry The Magic Ring, so yeah, I'm not too surprised there. So anyways, as you can tell from the actual, the floor, or in this case, for that particular room itself, as you can see, we actually stumbled across some light. And because of that, though, this is what the bombs comes in. And basically, though, in order to able to actually get that little cracked floor open, well, we got able to actually equip the bombs first, so we can able to actually just pick one up and toss it over there, and then, well, there you go. That actually reveals the hole. And what that shiny light will actually lead us to, well, you'll find out until whenever we're able to actually keep on exploring for this particular dungeon itself. So because of that, though, yeah, we need to backtrack for a little bit, just in case if we can able to see... Oh god, another ambush! But this time around, though, it's going to be, once again, snakes, but with skull heads. Okay, that's a little bit different than the likes of how it does it on the first time around. From the likes of, almost towards the sanctuary, so I guess that's that. And jeez, I somehow almost got stuck right here, but thankfully we somehow got out of it though. So anyways, let's go ahead and talk to this little arrow block thingy right there. But before we do that, we need to restock up our bombs, so just in case. Oh jeez, this little yellow thingy right there. Ah, jeez, somehow I just turned back into the rabbit again. But hopefully for about, you know, a few seconds later, I should turn back to normal. Pac-Man, it's me, Zelda. Don't be deceived by the magic of blind, the thief. Be careful. Okay, so I must be able to actually just to be prepared for that. And yeah, for that shiny light that we've already did manage to able to activate it from the likes of, you know, bombing the floor. Well, basically, though, that will be the important thing about it because, well, as soon as we hit over to the right door, as you can see right there, not only do we have to able to deal with even more enemies for the sake of likely if we manage to activate the block switch, so that way we can able to progress, but also about the fact, no matter is though, is that, actually, let me just get rid of these guys first before we get out of our way for the sake of the, also just really get a little bit nerve-wracked with that particular enemy right there that's just floating by, but thankfully though we did manage to deal with them anyway. Oh god, that room is kind of dangerous because in addition to trying to deal with these guys, but also you have to deal with them on the conveyor belt, and if you fell into the hole, you lose your heart. So yeah, it's got to be very cautious with that. Oh boy. Although, whenever we get into the forms of the next dungeon coming up, then I think I'll mention more about it until whenever we get into that specific point. That it does have some slight differences when it comes to the forms of the dungeon layout for certain rooms. If you ever played the Super Nintendo version or the Game Boy Advance version of the next dungeon we're about to be entering coming up, then again, I'll talk more about that until then, so... Anyway, so let's go in here, and trying to able to work around with that actual conveyor belt just like before. While trying to avoid those jellyfish monsters and all that stuff though, which thankfully we can able to easily avoid them like so. And I think in that part over there, I think this is where the fairy fountain was located, or I'm not exactly 100% sure. Well, that's only mainly because it has been about 3 days ago. Actually, no, wait. It was actually 2 days ago, actually, since I actually last touched this. So, because, well, for some reason, my brain has gone a little bit rosy at this point today. So, hopefully, I might as well get my brain sorted until maybe at some point on Friday, for the sake of more uploading schedules on this. So, anyway, so let's go. Oh, you kidding me? Okay, it's gonna have to avoid that. Please don't tell me it's gonna... I think it's gone. Yeah, it's gone completely, so... Anyways, let's grab the chest to get the small key again. Oh, thank you very much. You saved my life. Please, take me outside. Okay, so apparently we're actually going to be saving one of those maidens. She somehow managed able to got caged up, so yeah, it kind of feels like a similar thing from the likes of the beginning portion of the game. That's basically though is the fact that we need to guide one of the princesses to safety. So because of that, but before we do that, let's go ahead and go this way because, hallelujah, there was actually a big chest. So in this case, let's go ahead and use the magic hammer to smack these guys. Oh god, these floor tiles are about to disappear. But anyway, but at the very least we got ourselves the Titan's Mint, which is basically the upgraded version of the actual Power Glove. So the only difference is now that differently from the likes of the previous item, which appears to be by the forms of the Power Glove ever since in the Desert Powers, is that this allows you to able to pick up even more heavier objects, such as for instance, if we dash forward from here, from that particular heavy block right there. Yeah, I'm strong as Hercules. Well, almost anyway, for the sake of my muscle work. So, and let's see what's in here though. I'm guessing it might not be that important though, apart from the fact that, well, just somehow got ambushed by that stupid goopy stuff. And sure enough, yeah, it's a trap. So in this case, we have to deal with those jellyfish monsters before we're able to get out of there. So, actually, let me just go ahead and equip the hook shot, so just in case I can able to deal with these guys a lot easier. So, thankfully that has to be the case. So, oh, what? Okay, that's kind of weird for the sake of that particular hit detection from, you know, trying to use the hook shot with that jellyfish monster and the wall itself. And of course, you have to watch out for those bumpers, because if you bump into one, then it knocks you off. So, just be very careful. Yeah, I think for the most part that this particular dungeon itself wasn't all that lengthy though, until the next one though, which I'm sure that most people already know what I'm talking about for the sake of what's the next dungeon coming up, but either way, let's just go ahead and go back for a little bit, so just in case we can able to just, well, I think we're most able to actually just go ahead and leave the dungeon as it is, so but before we do that, we need to double check on certain things, and I think that's pretty much it in here. Oh, this actually leads me back there, sweet. So, yeah, I guess we'll pretty much gonna have to approach onto, well, let's just say the boss room. So because of that though, yeah, there's not much else to tell for this particular dungeon itself. It's just, well, kind of simple, assuming if you're trying to able to be very cautious with, like, trying to avoid a lot of obstacles and all that stuff though, but that's just far from the case, but anyway, so let's go ahead and double check quickly for one last time. So yeah, we basically checked in every single room, so let's go in here, and there's the actual light showing up, and oh, what's this? Ah, too bright. Oh, so it looks like the maiden has been turned into a blind monster? Or should I say that this is the next boss in this game, which appears to be Blind the Thief. And basically though, all we have to do is just basically you have to able to keep on attacking him and what have you, but then eventually until the next phase, like this one for instance, I'm pretty sure they now managed able to spawn in heads or individual heads that'll make things a lot more tougher to avoid. So in this case though, ramps and repeat and all that stuff though. In fact, this particular boss fight might be slightly a little bit more easier than the forms of how it does it on the previous boss fight from the likes of the third dungeon, but it can be rather difficult sometimes because of the forms of, well, every time you keep on hitting on blind, basically though is the fact that his head will able to go out, and then sure enough the actual heads deal with a lot of hits on me, so because of that though, yeah, there goes my another death, but thankfully we've got the fairy, so we can able to revive ourselves by trying to able to deal with the forms of, well, blind himself. So because of that though, we just have to keep on doing sword swings on him, and after quite enough of hits on him though, assuming if you're able to actually just keep on hitting him proper, so, oh jeez, I'm almost gonna die again. Oh god, so many fireballs, but we deal with him with 1 health left. Oh man, that was a close one. So, give me my heart container, so that pretty much leads me to 15 of those heart containers, and we got ourselves the 4th crystal. So, yeah, it looks like, I think we've only down to, let's just say, 3 crystals left, until we basically able to have the ability to go to the final showdown. Pac-Man, because of you, I can escape from the clutches of the evil monsters. Thank you. As the wise men sealed the way to the dark world, the knights of Hyrule defended them from the attacks of the evil monsters. I heard that the knights of Hyrule were nearly wiped out in that battle. You are perhaps the last one to carry on the bloodline of the knights. It is ironic that the last one in the line has the potential to become the hero of legend. Surely you can destroy Ganon. Do you understand? Yes. May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce. Of course, that was actually the 4th time that we actually hearing that particular dialogue every time. So, yeah, that pretty much concludes the 4th dungeon in the Dark Worlds, which is, of course, Gargoyle's, demand, or domain. So, yeah, I do apologize if my commentary gets a little bit, you know, slightly iffy, because, obviously, like I said before, that I was very, Actually, let me go ahead and just deal with this frog here. Ribbit, your body did not change. You are not just an ordinary guy, are you? I used to live in Kakariko Town. I wonder what my partner is doing there without me. Ribbit, I have a request of you. Please take me to my partner. Please, Ribbit, please. Of course, I will. So, yeah, we have to able to... I think, as far as I'm concerned, that, I think we should probably use the actual magic mirror for... Well, let's just say if we go in here, and then after we able to lift up this very, very heavy rocks, so that way we can now have the ability to do so. And, well, here we are in this particular familiar building, so because of that, before we enter there, let's go ahead and use the magic mirror to able to allows us to warp back onto the forms of the light world. So in this case though, we're about able to do just that. And look at that, the frog instantly managed to transform into the human counterpart of himself, so it's pretty swell. Oh, happy days are here again. You found my partner. We are very happy now. Drop by here again. At that time, we will temper your sword perfectly. Alright, so now we have the ability that we can able to upgrade our sword, but before we deal with all that stuff though, let's head back out and head back inside again, so that way they'll do, yeah. Hey you, welcome! And yes, I would like to able to temper my sword, so yes, sword tempered within, cost about 10 rupees and stuff, so yes, I really want to able to upgrade my sword so badly, so because of that, but if we managed able to actually decide able to leave the building, and then I believe, let's go ahead and take care of some other things first while this is going on, for my sword has been tempered and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and try to solve this particular magic hammer's puzzle element. So basically we need to smack every single of those holes, and because of that though, we can able to actually activate something a bit more secret, say. So because of that though, yeah, let's go ahead and do that just right now. So it doesn't matter which specific order of those little poles you can able to actually just smack the hammer around with, so it really doesn't matter that you can able to actually choose whatever poles you want to able to smack onto. So, and this will do, and that will open up the hidden entrance to let's just say something useful, such as, for instance, a piece of heart. So, yeah, we already got, like, quite a few of those pieces of heart left. So, yeah, at least we haven't got that far left of it, though. So, anyway, so let's go ahead and head back out and use the magic mirror again, because I'm pretty sure it doesn't take that long for the sake of the forms to try to able to temper my sword and stuff like that. So, we'll go ahead and anyway. So, your sword is now tempered up. Now hold it. So yeah, we've managed to able to upgrade our sword, so your sword is stronger, so you can feel the sheer power flowing through your body. So, as far as I would like to say for this point, I'm pretty sure this is the sword upgrade 3. I can assure it so anyway, because, well, either way though, I'll point it out whenever we're able to talk more about it. until whenever we get to the next video. So either way though, yeah, let's just go ahead and pick up another rock again, so we can able to actually continue exploring through the Dark World. So, actually gonna think about it though, before we continue proceeding for this point, I need to be sure if I don't miss any single portions throughout for the Kakariko village in the Dark World, as far as this is concerned. So, I guess there was nothing from there, I don't think. So, yeah, I suppose we should probably just move on. So, yeah, I think for the most part that we've almost nearly had— Oh, son of a— Oh, you thief! Give me back my rubies! I need them so badly! Oh well, we'll just have to deal with that. Yeah, if you bump into one of those citizens from the likes of the Kakariko village in the Dark World, what happens is, though, is the fact that you lose quite a few items, ranging from bombs or anything. So, and what's this? Because the key is locked inside this chest, you can never open it. Just take it with you. Alright, so I think we should probably carry this for the time being. So what we can do with this treasure chest though is the fact that we need to able to find a specific location that basically though, if we somehow manage to warp with the magic mirror, and you do realize that the treasure chest is still with us. The only thing you need to be careful of though, if you accidentally manage to able to press the A button while trying to use the Pegasus shoes, basically though, you'll accidentally drop the treasure chest. And I'm pretty sure that you really don't want to lose it either. So because of that though, keep a hold of it and keep up with your pace, so just in case you don't lose the treasure chest instantly. So, something worth classifying for noticing that already, so. And also another thing I would like to mention about this as well, I guess, that basically though is the fact that, I think relatively speaking, one of those episodes in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, and specifically in Season 2, called A Friend Indeed, that particular episode will be officially become a decade old until this Friday. So because of that though, I think I'll mention more about that episode after 10 years later, until specifically this Friday, this coming Friday. So because of that though, yeah, let's talk to him. I heard that you know I used to be the thief, right? Well, I'll open a chest for you. Will you keep it secret from everyone else? Yes, I promise not to tell. So, and from here we got ourselves the final magic bottle. So because of that though, we've now got all 4 of those magic bottles. So that means we can now able to actually decide able to catch not 1, but 4 fairies, assuming if you run out of fairies. So because of that though, well, since I've already automatically used one after that death from Blind the Thief, so at the very least, we can able to find another fairy fountain somewhere. So because of that though, for the most part, there's not much else we can just say about this for the sake of this point right here, aside from the fact that we can able to actually just, well, backtrack for a bit, so just in case if there are some missing parts I was going to be on about with that stuff. So, and as soon as I managed able to find out that since that we've already maxed out our rubies count, so yeah, let's go ahead and use our flute quickly. So because of that though, we can able to warp onto let's just say this section. So because of that though, I think it might be the best opportunity for me to start able to actually decide able to upgrade my supplies of bombs and arrows. So because of that though, we can able to do just that. So, and I think this is what the point where we might able to actually stumble across ourselves the next dungeon, which I will say this right about now, that the next dungeon we're going to be heading to is probably some people's hated dungeon throughout the game, due to the forms of how frustrating it is. Well, in terms of the structure of that particular palace itself, although mind you though, that you probably already know what to expect, so. So if we manage to go back onto the Pond of Happiness again, as you can see, we now have the ability that we can able to select, you know, just toss 50 rupees now. So because of that though, it actually did manage to increase that for a little bit. So in this case though, let's see what's in here. Some more fairies. So yeah, let's catch one of them. And another one soon after. So we can able to actually keep our 4 fairies in our bottles disposal. So I think we should be all said and done. So yeah, everything else goes all fine and dandy and everything. But there is that one particular item that is usually coming up, which I'm probably not going to do it right about now, because I'm actually going to be doing the normal way because of, you know, doing the actual correct order for the sake of the forms of the dungeons that we have to go through. But there is that one item in particular, well, not just by the forms of the next dungeon we're going to be exploring onto, but the next one after, that does manage to contain an item which actually did manage to able to make the next dungeon in the game. Specifically, let's just say, for example, if you're about to be preparing ourselves the 6th dungeon in the game first, and then basically though, after you've done that, then basically though, you can move on to the 5th dungeon whenever you please to choose. But that one item in particular will make, you know, Dungeon 5 a lot broken and a lot more easy peasy when it comes to likely obtaining one of those items, which either way though, I'm probably not going to mention about that right now because, well, it's pretty obvious about the fact that I'm not going to go for this route. So yeah, I think what we're about to do is the fact that we'll try to able to upgrade ourselves not only for bomb supplies but also arrow supplies as well. So because of that though, I think you can only carry up to the maximum of 99 of them. So because of that though, I think I already mentioned about that briefly as far as I usually recall that correctly. So either way though, yeah, for the most part I don't think there's not much else I can speak about when it comes to the forms of today's discussion by this point. But then again, I will mention more about the forms of other details about certain thing just came up for the sake of the forms that ever since about a week ago, or possibly even then. Oh, I suppose I should probably mention about this as well, I think. That we're now onto the halfway point for the sake of the forms of the Mario Kart Tour, Los Angeles Tour event. Likely due to the fact that, well, I've already mentioned about this before. That, well, it's just the fact that I'm still pretty much useless at the game due to the forms of stupid controls and also, you know, the gotcha moments that it doesn't allow me to give me not only Judging Chuck, but also with Golf Mario and Golf Luigi, you know, like I said, based off from NES Open Tournament Golf, which I don't suppose, although I think I've already mentioned about this as well, that it's pretty obvious that also in Mario Golf Super Rush, that basically though, that particular outfit of Luigi, which is based off from NES Open Tournament Golf outfit, is already exists, but on the ranked matches. So because of that though, I don't know if I can usually just try to unlock that, mainly because I haven't really touched upon Mario Golf Super Rush these days, especially noticeable about the fact that, well, you know, I've already managed to complete Adventure Golf already, since in day 1, but as a result though, with all its short length and everything, but as a result though, yeah, I can usually just try to say about this for the sake of time. Also, I just realized about something. It's been about a year ago since the February Nintendo Direct from last year in the 17th, although mind you, it's almost getting close to the point where that particular Direct will be a year old for the 17th of February in last year. Like, when I look back on it though, it's fine. I mean, nothing amazing by any means of any stretch of the imagination. Like, the only highlights for me though, still though, back in the day was obviously Fall Guys is coming onto the Switch, and of course, Mario Golf Super Rush is revealed, and of course, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD has been recently announced, and also brief info about the forms of the development cycle for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and of course, the biggest highlight is of course Splatoon 3 announcement. So because of that though, and what else is there? I totally forgot, because I know for the fact that it's been about a year ago since when I looked back on that particular Direct, back in a year ago. So either way though, I think I sort of miscalculated for certain things throughout, so I do apologize for that. Anyway, so let's go ahead and pick arrows again, and I think that pretty much does it for the arrows department. I think 50 might be enough, so I think we should probably decide able to upgrade our bombs for the time being, so just in case we can able to spend a lot of our rupees, as far as you probably already know is to be expected. So yeah, anyway though, so let's go ahead and I think we'll try to, yeah, the best strategy I can think of when it comes to likely keep on upgrading your bombs and arrows is the fact that you have to keep on visiting to the fairy fountain and come back out of it again, so just in case you do have the ability to able to toss even more rubies to able to upgrade your items supplies. So I think we should probably able to meet up with this the Great Fairy for the final time before we able to continue on with our journey, because I think for the most part with 50 arrows combined and 50 bombs coming up might be enough for the rest of our adventure. So because of that though, I think I should probably be alright with that. So, and yeah, like I said before, ever since during the course of on Monday though, you noticed already is the fact that recently Sonic the Hedgehog the movie specifically came out in 2020. You know, that film is now 2 years old. So yeah, I can't even believe that film is now 2 years old for that time. So because of that though, man, time flies all of a sudden. So actually I just realized I somehow managed to able to go like 40 bombs or something like that. Although I think I miscalculated, so I do apologize for that, folks, because I couldn't tell with the actual the number fonts correctly. So because of that though, I apologize for that. Actually, I could probably able to do that right now, because after all, that we've already managed to able to got exactly 100 rubies. So yeah, I somehow managed to able to forgot the actual numbers for the sake of today, because, well, honestly, there's not much else I can speak of. Although, by that time, one thing I'll mention about this right now, that the next tour is going to be coming up on next week for Mario Kart Tour, which appears to be the Sky Tour. So because of that, though, I can't wait to see how that's going to be represented with. So there we go, we've managed to able to got 50 bombs and 50 arrows, so we should be good to go. So anyway, so with that being said though, I think suffice to say, we'll go ahead and end things off at this point right here, after doing with all these choo-choos here. So, join me next time for more of Let's Play of The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. That is the fact that we're probably going to be hit on to, probably is my least favorite dungeon in the game, known as the Ice Palace. So, I'm not looking forward to it. So, see you guys on Friday. Later, fellas.